James Johnston first captured national attention in 2009, finishing third on Australian Idol. Since then, he has transitioned into one of the biggest names in Australian country music. Headed our way the October long weekend for the Shell V-Power Motorsport Park event, the Bent Classic. He joined Jelly Roll and Shabuzi for the inaugural Strummingbird Music Festival. He and his band are preparing to hit the UK for a sold-out tour next month. Has won 3 golden guitars, more than 163 million streams and counting, 90 million TikTok views, more than 15 million YouTube views, 6 number 1 country radio singles, 19 consecutive weeks at number 1 on the ARIA Country Albums chart. For Raised Like That, 10 weeks so far at number 1 with Where You'll Find Me. Let's chat to James Johnston. In a nice little country spot there.
We're in a little country town, about an hour and a bit out of Brisbane. So we're out filming today. But we got to just to give you a sense. This is the view at the moment, looking out over the cows and the paddocks. It's nice. It's a good day.
Awesome. All right, well, let's get started then, shall we? You're with Cheryl Lee, that radio chick, and I'd like to welcome into our Zoom room today, James Johnston. Thanks for joining us, James.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolute pleasure. I've got a James. I've got a son called James. Good, strong Aussie name.
You can thank my parents for that one.
Yeah. So we've got so much to talk about. You had so much going on and yet to come. I hardly know where to start. So maybe let's start at the beginning, shall we? Born into the country life in Wingham in New South Wales. So was it inevitable that you were going to be a country music artist? Did you come out singing and playing the guitar, or was there ever a plan B?
Yeah, I guess I'm one of those lucky people that kind of knew from a very young age what I wanted to do. So at 4 years old, I sang for the first time on stage, and there's a picture of it, and I had a cowboy hat on, I had the boots on, I was singing Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks. And if you'd asked me then what I wanted to be a country singer. And, I've for pretty much my whole life, that's all I've kind of ever dreamt of. There was always a plan. I think my folks sold tractors in the local community, and they had the local tractor business. So there was, if I would say anything, plan B was to take over the family business. But, I don't think it was in the blood. I think music was what I really wanted to do, and I think my folks knew that as well.
Therefore, are mum and dad musical? Did you inherit it through DNA or?
Yeah, I don't really know where the music gene came from, to be honest. They're lovers of music, but not, nobody in my family or really even my extended family was really into music. I did a little bit, and since I've been into it, mum picked up the guitar and all that sort of thing. But I wasn't a big musical family, no.
You knew very, very early on by the sounds of it. Now, fast forward to 2009 when you were third in our Australian Idol. Some people have positive experiences, some not so much. Do you think that helped your trajectory at all? Because jeepers, what a trajectory it has been. Or do you think that was just part of the, whole journey?
Yeah, I'd probably say the latter. It was part of the journey. I think for me, I don't have any bad feelings towards what Australian Idol was. And I know a lot of people have mixed feelings around it. Some people love the experience. Some people were, very much want to leave that experience behind. For me, I was a 17-year-old kid going into it from a little town. And all of a sudden I was living in Sydney and I was on national TV. And so I think the excitement of that was what was the big thing for me. So I was kind of just excited for the ride. All of a sudden, I was living out of home, And they were, I think at that stage when we were on the show, I think they paid us like $500 a week. And it was more money than I'd ever seen in my life. I was like, this is incredible. I get to stay in this house, be on national TV, and you're going to pay me $500. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. So I think my headspace then was just in such a different space. So I think I enjoyed the experience for what it was. With that being said, I wasn't really an artist at that stage. I was a singer of songs, and if they told me this week you're singing a rock song, I was like, great, I'm singing a rock song. Then I was singing a country song, I was singing a pop song. I didn't really care. So for me, when I left the show, I didn't really have a massive sense of identity, and personally, but also mainly to the outside world, to my fans and all that sort of stuff. I was just a singer, so I didn't really build up much of a fan base off the back of the show. Really, it was an experience, and I took it for what it was. And after that, I played pubs all around the country. I lived in a van. I travelled around, and I had some really great experiences, but I don't think it wasn't the turning point that was like, that's made my career,
It was all the hard work you did afterwards, I reckon. The good old grassroots, playing at the local pub night after night and earning your stripes like that.
Absolutely. Played my 1,000 shows, and I've played everywhere from, many pubs, but I've played in bowling alleys. I was looking at something the other day that was a photo of me playing in the actual lane of a bowling alley, and people were playing bowls, and I was sitting there in the middle of the bowling alley. And it's funny how times have changed,
See, this has all brought you to where you are now.
Exactly.
Like you said, a great learning curve, probably. Maybe even learning what not to do on Australian Idol.
I learn a lot because you get thrown in the deep end.
Yeah.
And the thing that I learned the most probably from it was it's quick fame. And as an 18-year-old, you can kind of get caught up in that and think that that's forever. And I think when it happened for me again, 10 years later when my music started to kick off, I think I appreciated it more, and I'd seen a version that, this might not be forever. So like, it's time to work hard, lock in, and keep this thing going. It wasn't that young naivety that I had when I was 18.
Head down, bum up.
Yeah, that's it.
It has been such an amazing ride, and because so much music is coming out, I wonder if you can shed some light on this. Well, I'm an 80s rock chick, and dare I say that, like in country music back then, it was a little bit uncool.
Mm-hmm.
But now, hell, I'm converted. If you can convert me, you can convert anyone. I just love country music now. And is it the last 5, maybe even 10 years, country music has just, set the Australian music scene on fire.
Yeah.
What do you think has caused this sudden resurgence and love of country music?
It's not only in Australia, it's around the world. Country music is one of the biggest genres, if not the biggest genre at the moment around the world, which is incredible. And I think, it often comes from the States, the Luke Combs of the world, the Morgan Wallens, when those artists like that really break out, I think it's huge. But I also think off the back of COVID and everything like that, people wanted to get out and just hear something real and just wanted to experience a good time. And I think country music, especially, country festivals and all that sort of stuff, that's what it celebrates. It kind of brings people together. And I don't know. It's a funny thing because country for me has been what I've done my whole life. And it was kind of that dirty little secret for such a long time. I've always loved it, but it certainly wasn't cool. It was the thing that, you didn't tell your friends about. But now it's not that at all.
No, now you're the coolest of the cool.
That's it, hopefully.
Now, there's a whole lot of music coming out, and a lot of it is country music. How do you connect with your audience so well that you've got more than 163 million streams on the internet?
It's kind of wild, to be honest. It's a funny thing. I think when I was writing, I wrote a lot. I wrote so many songs, like 200 and something songs before I wrote the first song that I put out. And there's that moment where you just start to write your truth and, my version of country, and I think that's the reality is that the thing I kind of realized that if you just tell your story, maybe it connects with a bunch of people. And it's interesting because there's, even within country, there is different types of country. I'm not a cowboy, at all. It's the truth. I'm a rural country kid. I grew up on motorbikes, and I grew up on 40 acres, and there's guys out there that grow up in the middle of the outback, and they've got their version of country. And then there's people in the city that just love, Luke Combs. A lot of, I think, if I would say, your tradies and all that sort of stuff love the idea that he just tells everyday honest stories. So I think for me, I just told my story, and obviously there's other people out there in Australia and the world that have experienced similar things, and they just connect with that,
So do you think it could be as simple as just absolute authenticity is what connects people to your music?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. So. But it's still, that's the thing as an artist. You're always trying to figure that out and see what it is. But I'm pretty thankful for where it's taken me.
Gee, Australians can put on that music festival, can't we?
Yes, we can. I think we do festivals here better than anyone else in the world.
You have done a whole heap of them. I think you've just done about every single one we have. CMC Rocks, Berry's Big Country, the Gympie Music Muster, Meatstock Tamworth, of course, the Denny Ute Muster, and now you come to the best one.
I have to say, I'm so excited about this festival, and for two major reasons. I've toured through South Australia a couple of times now, and have had some of my favourite shows in Australia have been in SA. And I'm a mad motorsport guy. Like, I love, mine was like a lot of motorbikes, but I just bought myself a sprint car. So I'm in like getting into the sprint car world now. And so for me, it combines my two favourite things. It's country music, motorsport. I'm very excited about this show.
Big gig happening at the Bend. It's called the Bend Classic Cars, Country and Camping. Shell V-Power Motorsport Park in the October long weekend. So we are looking forward to catching up with you then when you're going to be dual headlining with another great Aussie country artist, Lee Kernaghan. But boy, oh boy, you're going to be busy between now and then because you've got a UK tour.
I'm doing my first UK tour, and I'm excited about that. I know it's going to be a big one. It actually sold out. So we actually sold it out. It's a funny thing, kind of twice. And the reason why is that when we put it on sale, we sold it out in a couple of minutes. And then we had to double the size of every single room. And then I sold that out in a day. And then pretty much one of the shows in Glasgow, we've put an extra few tickets on. So I think maybe that one, it's not, maybe sold, we only did that a week ago. So I'm not sure if that's sold out or not, but it's been amazing, just to see the crowds show up over there and to know that my music, has come from Australia all the way to the UK. It's pretty surreal.
Yeah, taking Aussie talent to the rest of the world. That's awesome.
That's it.
Spreading the love. Also, you've got another one called the Tara Festival. The Camel Party? Is that a new one? I actually hadn't heard of that one, and I thought I knew everything.
The Tara Camel Races is one of the coolest. I played that event maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and it's wild. It is the description is in the name. It is camel racing and country music, and it's not something that you think that you need until you've seen it, and it's unreal. So I'd say to any listeners, make sure you get to go and check out some camel racing and then come down to South Australia and hang out and, come and check out some motorsport and country music. It's a good time.
Catch you at the Camel Party, the Tara Festival. Then you're over to the UK and then you're in little old Adelaide off to Shell V-Power. Shit.
The Shell V-Power Motorsport Park. I'm going to do it.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
And the only reason I find that easy is because I use Shell V-Power, which is so I know I can, I've used it in a couple of my bikes and that, so I know what it's all about.
You're in the know with the terminology. I seem to be struggling to get my tongue around it. Now, you've got a new album, Raised Like That. It's got 20 great songs on it, including one that credits your wife.
Yeah. Well, that's actually my first album. I put out a few second album since then, but that first album has a song that my wife wrote with me called A Country Girl Can. And I was sitting there strumming away, trying to write something, and she pretty much in the background as she was cleaning the house or whatever said, "What about this?" and just started singing the chorus idea. I said, "Well, that's great. That's exactly what I want it to be." And so now she's a songwriter on the song with me, which is great.
Oh, awesome. Share it in the family. And while we talk about that, you guys have got 2 sons, and Seeing You Soon, one of the tracks on that album, features your eldest son, Coda. What's he doing on that track?
So he's actually singing. So it's kind of a beautiful thing. He's not a singer, and it's the only time that I've ever got him to be able to sing for me. But I wanted him to sing the bridge of the song, and pretty much the only way he would do it is I locked him in there. Well, not I locked him. He wanted to go into the studio, stay in the studio by himself, and I put it on repeat, and he just kept singing the part for maybe 100 times, and finally he walked out. He said, "I think I did it, Dad," and he came out and did it, and it was beautiful. So make sure you go and check out that one. It's called Seeing You Soon, featuring Coda.
I love that. And is your other son involved in any way?
Yeah, so he wasn't even born at that stage, but he's now 4 years old, and he's going to be a mad little rocker. So he loves putting on a show. He's definitely a little entertainer.
It's, wonderful to see such a beautiful, family affair. And congratulations on all your successes. I'm going to top and tail our interview with all your golden guitars and awards and what have you, because I've probably used up all of my time now, but it's been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.
I'll see you down the front at the Bend at the Shell V-Power Motorsport Park.
Nailed it. Lovely chatting to you, Cheryl. Thanks so much.
Thank you. And I'll
All
see
right.
you there. Have a great
Can't wait.
trip to the UK.
Thanks so much. See you there.
Bye for now. You're with Cheryl Lee, that radio chick. Thank you so much for joining me on the Still Rocking It podcast. Hope to catch you again next time. Get out when you can, support Aussie music, and I'll see you down the front.